And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that short break and the lovely Brutal OC as we are jumping into the final quarterfinals match of the night. We're jumping in mid-series as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran, the world champion. It is Clem for Team Liquid, the current reigning world champion. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have the South Green Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, leading the series 1-0, one game away from knocking Clem out of the tournament and getting his revenge from last week. It is Classic. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bet to get your gamba going. This is a prediction for the series. Now, Classic does have a lead, but I would still say Clem is the favorite player. Again, this is a rematch. Clem and Classic, they played last week in the finals of the WardiTV Monday. Clem did claim the win. Clem was looking very dominant last week, and again, we do expect Clem to make a deep run once again. But Classic, he's been popping off again in recent times. Classic took down Bjorn, took down Gumiho, is taking maps off of Clem. Classic has been back on that grind, and it has been showing. And can Classic 2-0 Clem? That would be a crazy upset, and I would call it an upset here if we were to bring Clem down, especially 2-0. We'll see. When it comes to game one, if you want to tune into the vote of that game, I believe Wardi was casting it. I believe Inu was casting in Korean. I believe there were some other language casters as well. I think TKL was casting in French. So plenty of other coverage on game one. If you're curious, game one was on Amygdala. It was, sorry, my mistake, not Amygdala, the other one. We're currently on Amygdala. He was on Whispers of Gold. Whispers of Gold was game one. It was a very aggressive or a very dynamic series, very back and forth. In the end, Classic did overwhelm with a Colossus-based army in the mid game. But now we're settling into game number two. For now, double gas opener out of Clem, going for a faster factory, going for a delayed TC, so a more assertive and aggressive start. I don't know what openers our players went for in the last game. I only got to see the tail end after we finished our series, so I'm not aware. If you're maybe a little bit familiar, if you were like multi-twitching it up, if you had multiple tabs open, then let us know in the chat. Otherwise, we're settling in to double gas first for Clem, and we're going for a Stargate opener for Classic. Now, this is very stylistic. Classic, he's very fond of Stargate play. Even on smaller maps, Classic, he is willing to go Stargate more often than not. It can be quite risky. On larger maps, it is considered to be safe, though. So very safe, or I should say, a bit of a greedier start here by Classic, but relatively safe to do so on Amygdala. Meanwhile, Clem, Reacted Reaper, Hellion. He's going for a Reacted Reaper, Hellion. The question becomes, when does he stop? Does he go up to 3 Reapers and 2 Hellions, or does he go up to 5 Reapers and even more Hellions than that? Here we go. So now he gets up to 3. Okay, only 3. Only 3 Reapers. 3 Reaper double Hellion is moving out across the map. A very light commitment here to the aggression as Clem is transitioning into Bio, into Tech Labs, into potentially an add-on swap or early tank production. So again, just really early tech here from Clem, as Tech Lab is done, and we're going for an early Cyclone instead. Cyclone is on the way. We'll see if he goes for a Medevac as well. Yep, there it is. Medevac. We're going for a push. So Clem is setting up for a push. At the same time, Reapers, they bust into the main. They get a full scout. They confirm the Stargate. And I assumed it was going to be Stargate Phoenix. No, it's Stargate Oracle instead. So Oracle opener out of Classic does take down one of the Reapers. Hellions get forced back. Classic defends, but is he going to be ready for what comes next for the drop play? For the push. As the first Cyclone has arrived, behind this we should be opening up. I mean, against the Stargate opener, a second Cyclone wouldn't be a bad idea. Ooh, takes down the Hellion. Now, speak of Hellion goes down, a Cyclone is revealed. And it's going to be Medevac into Viking here. Okay, Medevac into Viking. Tanks are not required, true. So typically you only make tanks in this matchup against a Twilight Council opener. If you can get away with skipping tanks, unless you're going for an all-in, then it's better here to just skip tank production, go into faster stim, into faster bio, into a faster, bio-based composition. As tanks, they don't really scale amazingly into a longer game. Oh my god, update! As the Oracle goes down, massive pickup. I was just a little bit in shock. a little bit in shock when it comes to the lock-on and the duration and the range there. So very nice pick off here by Clem. That should not have happened. And Classic does start things off here with a dead Oracle. The initial Stargate opener has been a little bit lackluster so far. There's at least one Oracle left, but the potential for damage is lessened here now, coming in towards the mid-game. Behind this, Stim, of course, being prioritized. We do have a Clem just gaining map control with the Cell Nagas. He moves out. And Classic is moving in. But remember, there's no Blink. Remember, it was a Stargate opener, so Blink is delayed here for Classic. He's in position mainly to contain, not to really push in. Now, because of the Stargate opener, no tanks. So potentially these Stalkers can trade well, but it's still a risky maneuver. No bunker, no tanks. Stalkers, they move in. And can Classic punish the lack of tanks here of Clem? Stasis gets baited. Stalkers, they kite back. Stim is not done. And picking up a couple of Marines, not bad. The lock on though is brutal. One Stalker goes down. Nice pickup. Oracle into the main. Stalker's breaking out. SV's going to be falling with the help of this Cyclone to the Oracle. It's going to go down. Oof, massive pickup. 5 SCVs for 2 Oracles. Not worth it. Not worth it here for Classic. Losing both. Losing map control. Losing, I should say, scouting potential as well. By losing those Oracles. Clem breaks out. Stim is done. And where are we settling from here? Now, Classic does have his third. He has his third base. It's getting fully saturated. Likewise, it's taking up towards the splash damage. We have +1 on the way. We have the Bay on the way for Colossus. So he's going for a robo-heavy composition. Alongside Blink Stalkers and Charge Lots. Clem is going to be the first to push out, though. And behind this, third CC. Almost done. So Clem is not going for an all-in. He's expanding. He's taking a third. And here he comes. Here comes Clem. Splash damage is not ready, but there is a shield battery, and there is Blink. Oh, diving the army. Ooh, he gets punished, does not get the medevac. Medevac survives, one Stalker goes down. And moving in. Likewise, a brutal Blink there from Classic. The mine shot, mine goes up, catches a sentry. But Clem is being forced back, leading out 2 medevacs. Classic, he does somewhat maintain himself, but he's running out of Zealots. Has to pull away. Better trades here for Clem. He's going to keep going, though. But charge is still not done. Yeah, without charge, these Zealots, they do nothing. They soak shots. Clem, he just rallies across the map. He smells blood in the water. And he's still going to break through. Wintermines are targeted down. But there's still so many Zealots falling. And again, charge is still nowhere near finishing. He needs charge. Shield battery does help. Wintermines are setting up. Clem throughout all this is getting his third up and running. Up! Mine choke gains some friendly fire. Not bad. Bit of friendly fire. And Classic holds. Whew. Classic, he should be able to hold on now. I spoke too soon, bleeding out another Stalker. But the Colossus has arrived, and with the help of the Colossus, he should maintain the third. Yeah, we'll force Clem back. Wintermine's going down. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets all 3. Not for the Zealots. Not a bad trade out of Clem, but Classic holds. He maintains his third base, and now he gets a 4th. Now, what I will say, what I'm concerned about, this 4th base is late. It's a late 4th. Typically, the Protoss wants to be up a base over his opponent. Clem is even on bases with 3 and 3. Clem has the better economy. Clem is rotating. We spoke earlier, it takes a long time to rotate across the map. Thankfully, Classic is keeping up. He's in position, but this position is significantly weaker. It's a weaker position for Classic. It's out in the open, greater potential for a concave, and no shield battery. No shield battery. But a second Colossus has arrived. And with 2 Colossus, he should be okay. He steps in. Clem, he gets 1. He gets 1 Colossus. Massive pickup. And he wants the other. Won't quite get it. Classic, he's holding. He's holding on. Does punish a retreat. Gets a Marauder. Classic, he's surviving. Second Colossus on the way. Should have been the third, but again, he lost one. And again, Classic is still barely holding on to his expansions. Clem is so close to breaking him. The Vikings now hit the field. Shield batteries are on the way. He scans, he sees a Colossus. Clem rotates, and the observer spots the rotation. Keeps up. Does rotate. As he rotates Clem, he rotates back. So does Classic, or at least he should. Oh. The observer goes down. Skin up of Zealots. As Clem is just maintaining map control, what do we have behind this? 4CC. 4CC is on the way. Ghost production has begun. Getting into 2-2 upgrades. And now he has EMPs. EMP is now available. Second starport on the way. Ooh, brutal mind connection. Oh my god, mine shots going up. Force fields are trying to lock down the army. Lost taking a lot of hits. So far, good zoning here by Classic. Takes down the medevac. Protects the Colossus. We did lose the Zealots, and the Colossus, the first one, is barely going to go down. First one does fall. Zealots, they charge in. Classic once again barely holding on with those Zealots. Forces back Clem. But the supply is telling a story here. It is telling. Again, Classic is shredding water. He's barely keeping his head above water. And Clem is so close to overwhelming. You want Classic taking another expansion. The problem is just the frequency of these trades here. Is that Classic, he just cannot build up his army. He cannot retain it. It's just not happening. Nice force fields. Force fields pop off. Colossus goes down. No more splash damage, and Classic has been broken. Vikings, they land. They shut down the 4th base. Boys are being pulled to escape. They get chased down. Classic now with 2 Colossus. Making 2 more behind this. Vikings moving in, brutal EMP, and the Colossus, there's just not enough support. They're going down one after the other. Gets one, gets both. GG gets called, and Clem will tie the series 1-1. We are going to the ace match. GG. GG, well played. Clem, he does snowball out of control again. Just a really aggressive style here out of Clem. We did see early on just going for the draw play, going for the Cyclone, just rallying across the map non-stop. And even though, again, Classic was barely surviving, barely holding on, every time he was bleeding out Zealots, Stalkers, Colossus. These were just expensive trades for Classic that he could not maintain, he could not afford, and eventually he got broken. He was just whittled down over time. GG. GG, well played. Also, what I should emphasize as well, because Clem was being so aggressive and so assertive, did you see any counterattacks or any run-bys from Classic? There were none. There was one attempted Zealot run-by which got caught. Outside of that, Classic just had no freedom, no breathing room to actually get any counterattacks to force Clem back home, to buy some time, to get some kind of counter damage. He was just stuck at home perpetually and was broken. He was broken, and here we go. We're getting into game number 3. We're getting into the ace match, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the French Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Team Liquid. Tying up the series 1-1. Can he claim it? Can he advance on to the semifinals? It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, being forced into a tied series. Can he bring it back? Can he bring it home? It is Classic. Here we go. Because we are going to be getting in. We see Classic scouting for proxies. I do not blame him. Checks the natural. Checks the triangular third. He's so paranoid. I mean, I don't blame him. Clem, he's known for proxying. He's especially in TvP. We've seen Clem many a time go proxy Marauder, or even proxy Reaper. So Clem is just being safe. And of course, we know that Clem, his ranks is back at home. It's back at home, double gas opener out of Clem, so just like the previous game, faster factory. Now, as a reminder, last game this led into Reactor Reaper Hellion into a Cyclone drop, into just early stim. If you remember, Clem, he delayed tank production in the follow-up. We'll see what he goes for this time. He could go for a stronger commitment into Reactor Reaper Hellion. He can go for an earlier add-on on the starport and open up Banshee instead. He can go for a committed Widowmine drop and reactor out Widowmines instead of Hellions. There's potential. We'll see where Clem takes us, as he does have a lot of options available to him. Clem opening up Reaper first into Reactor, into additional Reapers so far. He's moving out. There's that natural base on in the main, actually. Very safe play to Clem. Going for the CC on the high ground. Meanwhile, we spoke about this actually in the last game, how Classic, he is so prone to playing Stargate even on smaller maps. We brought that up on Amygdala, and we're seeing it here on Ley Lines as well, which is a smaller map. It's a very much so like a stylistic thing. Classic is very fond of Stargate play, and we'll see if he can get away with it. As Reaper's being chased down. Last game will Stargate into Oracle. We'll see if he goes Phoenix or Oracles once again. Here comes the setup here. This time, no reactor on that factory. It's going to be the faster tech lab. We actually skip out on Hellions, going for Marines, this time being much more efficient here. Only one Reaper, 0 Hellions as well. Faster Cyclone into a faster Medevac, into a faster drop. Okay. So last game, Clem's aggression was delayed because of the Reaper Hellion. This time, there's no Reaper Hellion. Just one Reaper. Just one Reaper into faster Marines, into faster Cyclone. Tank as well. Very aggressive build here by Clem. He will soon be pushing out with his tank drop. And Classic, the Oracle isn't going to help too much here. I am concerned. I'm concerned for Classic. He needs to scout. Needs to figure out what's going on. The first Oracle moves out towards the right-hand side. Here comes the push. We have the Marines waddling across the map. The Medevac is waiting for the tank. And then he can boost. And this Oracle's not going to help. It's not going to help with the defense. Gateways are on the way. There's no shield battery. Oh boy. I'm going to be very impressed here if a Classic can hold. Because here comes Clem. With a terrifying army this early on. What's he up against? He's up against 3 Adepts and 1 Stalker. Both Oracles out of position. Army dives in. Oracles, they commit across the map. And the shield battery goes down. The natural waste is going to be forfeits. That's a kill, not a cancel. Pylon falls. Depowers the gateways. Oracles, there's nothing to kill. Yeah, there's nothing to kill. They're racing back home. And Classic is in trouble. That's going to be another dead Pylon. Vikings here to support. Second Pylon goes down, keeping these gateways depowered. And he's trying to force some friendly fire. Alas, the retargeting with the tank. Nicely done. Targets the gateway, shuts down the Oracle. And Clem, he does it. He snowballs out of control. GG gets called. And Clem, he will take the series 2-1. GG. Ooh. GG, well played. Almost a build order win there by Clem. I say almost. It was just really unfortunate. One, it was a Stargate opener, which doesn't help. This is why I mentioned before that Stargate openers are really risky, and we usually only see them on larger maps. Here we saw them on a much smaller map, and you saw why. But it wasn't just that. It was also the fact that Classic was intentionally keeping his Oracles back. He was banking them up and getting ready for a big dive because of that late scout, right? It was a late scout, a late realization of what was happening. Because of that, Classic was in the dark until it was too late. That's why he had no setup. That's why he had nothing ready. He was caught completely with his pants down. And with that, Clem takes it in the end. GG. GG, well played. Oh, I also apologize for showing the wrong race. There we go. Sorry, I was very quickly trying to set up Clem versus Classic, so may have had the wrong race outside the game, so I do apologize. Regardless, GG, well played. Clem does claim the series, does advance on to the semifinals, and here we go. We're getting into our next game. We're getting into the semifinals. Bam! As we have some updates here in the bracket.